Gossip, gossip.
Steady gossip.
What's up, world? You're tuned into 423 FM. You already know we've got you covered with your daily dose of celebrity drama. Now let's get into it. Hey, what's up, guys, and welcome back to the 423. So last night was the season 1 finale of Euphoria, and if you watched, then you already know there was a lot going on. Throughout this whole season, I've been watching the episodes live with all of my Twitter people and reacting to the craziness that goes down, so I thought it'd be fun to do a recap and talk about what actually happened, because to be honest, there were some moments where I was lost. There have also been some really interesting theories going around since the show started about how they were going to wrap everything up, so I wanted to talk about how some of these storylines were finished and what's going to happen in season 2. Obviously, there are spoilers ahead, so if you haven't seen episode 8 of Euphoria yet, then get your life together and exit out of this video. Alright, let's start with Rue and Jules. The episode starts with Rue at the hospital, where she ended up from binging too much Love Island, not going to the bathroom, and giving herself a kidney infection. Jules visits her at the hospital and apologizes for not telling her the truth about Nate extorting her, and these two seem to be back on the right track. That is, until they arrive at the dance. This episode centers around the East Highland Winter Formal, and of course, all the kids on the show are showing out for the occasion, which really just has me wondering, 1, if their school has a dress code, and 2, where the hell the chaperones are, because I've never seen a high school like this in my life. Anyway, throughout the night, Rue notices Jules texting Anna, the girl she hooked up with when she was out of town, before she heads off to the bathroom to send the girl some selfies. Rue ends up tracking Jules down in the bathroom, and eventually they make their way to the dance floor, where they both flash that serial killer Nate Jacobs with some serious middle fingers and some fake gun motions. Rue leaves the dance to find and confront Nate outside, beating the hell out of him and letting him know that she'll ruin his whole life if he ever does anything to hurt Jules or Fez. But Nate gets inside her head by asking Rue what she's gonna do once Jules eventually outgrows her and the town that they live in. Eventually, Rue makes her way back to Jules, and because she's so shaken up by what Nate said to her, she makes a suggestion of ditching the dance and packing their bags, running away together in the middle of the night. Of course, Jules' crazy ass is down, and they run off to put the plan in motion. As they're packing, Rue is already freaking out and second-guessing the whole thing, but they make it down to the train station, where Jules is heavily pressuring Rue to come with her, as she has a whole panic attack about leaving her family. In the end, Jules leaves without Rue, who walks home while having some traumatic family flashbacks about her overdosing and about her father's death. This is where we find out that the maroon sweatshirt Rue is always seen wearing actually belonged to her father, which hits even harder because earlier in the episode, Jules made fun of her for always dressing like Seth Rogen and wearing sweats. Rue finally makes it back home, where she relapses and snorts a line of coke before collapsing on her bed, which leads to a whole musical number with Kanye's Sunday Service Choir before the episode ends. Now, let's get into Nate and Maddie. Back at the dance, Nate shocked everyone when he showed up with a girl who is most definitely not Maddie. He keeps grabbing her exposed ass cheeks as I once again wonder where the hell some chaperones are. In a flashback sequence, we learn that the couple hasn't been on good terms since an encounter they had where Nate couldn't get an erection, which led to him being physically abusive. Nate yelled at Maddie for telling her friends about the penis pictures on his phone, and Maddie reassured him that it's okay if he likes men, which of course he strongly denied. While Nate's in the shower, Maddie grabs a DVD that she finds sticking out of a book in his room, which presumably contains footage of Nate's dad doing some wild things in a motel room. Later, when she leaves, Nate's father ends up seeing Maddie and telling her that she should walk away from the relationship before Nate ruins both of their lives. She responds with, "Your family is so effing weird," which is probably because she just finished watching one of his sex tapes. At the dance, Maddie and Nate both agree that they shouldn't be together anymore, but we all know how that's worked out for them in the past. In another flashback, Nate wins a football game, but later that night, his dad makes it clear that the victory wasn't impressive since he lost control of his team. Things end up getting super physical as his father, Cal, pins him down and they wrestle one another on the floor until Nate pushes him off and starts to throw a serious tantrum. That was some Emmy-worthy shit right there. As for Cassie, she wraps up the season by going to the hospital with her mom and Lexi to get an abortion. Kat finds Ethan at the dance and decides to apologize, which ends with them kissing and deciding to be together. And Fez has me nearly having a heart attack the entire episode as he breaks into a doctor's house to rob him and get the money he owes his drug supplier, which ends on a cliffhanger of whether or not the supplier is going to try to hurt him or not. So that's pretty much everything that went down on the season finale of Euphoria, though I do think the ending left a lot of people confused on what really happened. I did see a ton of people in the middle of the season predicting that the finale would be Rue's death, which is why she's the one narrating the whole story. The final flashback that Rue has sees her walking through the kitchen with her family in it, but her sister and mother both ignore her before she goes and hugs her dad tightly. Because her dead father is the only one who can see her, a lot of people are thinking that this means Rue, too, is dead. I personally think the episode just ended with her overdosing, or at the very least relapsing, because of a few practical reasons. One, Zendaya is the show's biggest star. I know she's the only reason I started watching it, and I think that's the same for a lot of people. Yeah, they could do a This Is Us type thing where she's in every season still, even though she's dead, but I honestly don't see that happening. But beyond that, her character, Rue, is based on the creator, Sam Levinson's life, and he's still alive. I'm sure not everything in the show is exactly how it happened in his life, and yeah, he can change some things, but I just don't think he made a whole show about his experiences to have that end after season 1. As far as the rest of the characters go, everything was really left on a cliffhanger. Will Nate and Maddie actually break up? Was Jules going on a train to visit her new boo Anna? And will Fez get shot by his supplier? The world may never know. Well, we will, but we're going to have to wait like a year for the next season to come out, so we're going to be wondering for a while. Personally, I want to protect Rue at all costs, and I need Jules' toxic behavior away from her because these two are clearly not good for each other. I need to know that Fez is safe and sound, and he needs to get out of the drug dealing game because he's just way too precious. My girl Lexi needs to get her shine and also needs some friends who care about her the way that she cares about them. Nate needs to be locked up immediately and can just rot in jail for the rest of the show. And even though I want to love Maddie, she needs to own up to her shit and get that innocent man in a neck brace out of jail. But of course, I want to know what you guys think about this. Did you watch the season finale of Euphoria? What are your thoughts? And are you looking forward to season 2? Leave your thoughts down below in the comments. Subscribe to the 423 for more videos. And if you like this one, just give it a quick thumbs up. That is it for today. I will see you guys next time. Bye.